Hi guys, welcome back to an episode of DB Cars, and today's episode I'll be showing you guys GetGo Nissan Kick E-power. So let's dive straight to this video right now. Alright then, so here is guys the Nissan Kick E-power from GetGo itself. So basically I'll be running through you guys the overall damages for this vehicle that's any before I show you guys the trunk space as well as the interior itself. So let me just start off with the outside of the car and basically the damages for this vehicle. So basically starting out from the front, there isn't any obvious damage to this vehicle other than it being splattered with a lot of dirt. Basically if you check the undercarriage below, you can definitely see there's quite a lot of dirt beneath it, but other than that, just probably I think the people who ran this vehicle in this area went through some, I don't know what they went through, but you can see the windscreen is covered. The windscreen is quite dirty, same for the hood and as well as the bottom part itself. So yeah, luckily there's also no windscreen chip for this vehicle, which is also another great thing for this vehicle. So yeah, plus point to that. Moving along to the tires as well as the rims. Unfortunately there's some minor scuff on each side. So yeah, same goes for mainly for the driver's side. Some minor scuff, and tire wise they're still okay. They're not really balding anytime soon, but that can't be said for the other side, which I'll show you guys in a moment time. Moving towards the rear, there's no obvious damage from from my first point inspection. No damages to the rear, which is quite good. Moving on to the passenger side, this is where the fuel filler cap is. So it's on the left hand side behind the passenger. So rims, unfortunately there's some on the passenger side, some minor scuff on it. The rear tires don't have any balding or anything, which is a good thing, but that can't be said for the front. So unfortunately the front, the rims are also good. There's no curve on this. Maybe there's one minor one there, but tire wise, unfortunately, as you guys can see, it's very balding here already. So that's one thing I got to take note for it when I report it to them. But other than that, no obvious visual damages for this vehicle itself. So yeah, let me just talk about the vehicle right now. So basically this is the Nissan Kick E-power. So basically E-power is Nissan term of their hybrid drivetrain. So basically I have already reviewed the Nissan Note E-power from Sharad. So if you want to check out that video, I'll leave it at the end of this video for you guys to check out. But this is basically the first E-power in Nissan fleet is technically the Serena. So mostly there's no Serena in any of the car sharing fleet like GetGo, Sharad, Tribe or Carlight. So yeah, but if you want to rent this, for the Note E-power, only Sharad have it at the moment. But if you want to rent the Nissan Kick, unfortunately nowadays there's a lot of mainly the three, GetGo, Sharad and Tribe, we all know, have Nissan Kick. Initially was just Sharad that introduced it before GetGo jumped on the bandwagon, and they added, if I'm not wrong, there's 3 to 4 of them around the island wide. Mostly there's no Kick in the west side itself, so that's the downside. No wait, sorry, there is, but it's under Tribe car. So yeah, so as right now there is, if you want to rent the Nissan Kick from these 3 big car sharing firms, you can definitely do so, but the prices of the hourly charges varies itself. So if you want to know more about that, you can definitely check out their website or app itself to find out more about it itself. But that's the main thing I want to mention to you guys itself. So yeah, now let's talk about the vehicle itself. So the vehicle itself, if you guys notice, staying true to Nissan form, where they got the V-shape, basically the V-shape front, the V-shaping if you can call it. So basically the Nissan grille on the Kick itself, you can see there's it looks somewhat like an extended V itself, on starting from the headlight deep down to the center where the license plate ends. Same for the other side itself. So that's one thing itself which, if you didn't notice until now, well, it's right there itself. It's staying true to its tradition, you can call it. So basically the Nissan Sylphy has it, which basically the older Nissan cars have the more obvious V-shaped grille, and the more modern one like the Kick, and I'm not too sure I think the Nissan Note have it as well, but it is more, how do I call it, upsize and call it. They make it more bigger, like BMW. So the BMW kidney grille used to be very small, now it's getting bigger, like the new, like the outdated G80 M3 itself. That's what it looks like. But nowadays the grill are getting bigger and bigger itself. So yeah, maybe one good thing about bigger grills is just more, it allows more air to come into the vehicle to cool it down. So yeah, but and that is basically for the vehicle itself. This is, if I want to call it, it's almost very similar to the Nissan Juke, but it is more, I don't know, I prefer the styling of the Kick than the Nissan Juke itself. So yeah, but and that is basically what I want to share about you guys. Now I'll tell you guys about the vehicle itself. So let me just show you guys the trunk space of the Kick right now. Alright then, to access the trunk is very simple for the Nissan Kick E-power itself. So basically just need to locate the trunk face button right down. It's right beside the reversing camera, which is right here. So just press on this and you're able to access the trunk space for the vehicle itself. So once the trunk is open, this is basically what you're greeted with. Technically it does come with the partial shelf, and you got to hook it to the anchoring points right here on either side, but seems like some person decided to remove it. But technically with this removed, you have even more space, so you can put stuff above the cover itself. But probably considering right now how much trunk space this vehicle does come with, so this is how much the trunk space this vehicle has itself. So yeah, let me see whether this, usually there's a way you can store it below, but unfortunately there's not anything. Oh, you got your towing line with tire repair kit and the triangle thingy itself. So yeah, and that's basically it for the rear of the car itself. Alternatively, if let's say you want even more space in the vehicle itself, you could do so via lowering the seat down just by pulling on this thing right here and drop it down itself. And same goes for the other side. So once down, you have even more space in the vehicle itself. So yeah, that's basically it for the vehicle itself. Now let me just show you guys the rear of the car. Oh yeah, my apologies. I forgot to mention, to close the trunk, just need to grab on hold of this lever itself and pull it down. If not, you can just grab any part of the vehicle and close it itself. So just close it down, just like that. So yep, just alright then. Now let me just show you guys the rear of the car itself. So stepping right into the car itself, this is basically what you're being greeted with. So in my opinion, okay, one thing I definitely noticed is someone's trash. Basically what I noticed is the driver's seat slightly lower than the rear passenger itself. I'm not too sure why we are sitting slightly higher than the front people, but one thing is headroom. This is my standard driving position set at the moment itself, and I got about 4 fingers of space left, and a bit about a fist and 1/4 about that of headroom space, right? And I'm about 1.7 meters tall, so yeah, you can definitely see that rough gauge of headroom and legroom space wise for this vehicle itself. So yeah, alright, let me just, what do you get in this vehicle itself? Well, you get a very nice, a decent storage space right here on either side. You get a cup storage space right here, so if I want to put my drink, I'm able to just throw it in there without any issue itself. And I got my window switches as well as the door release handle to get out of the car itself. I also got a grab handle right here, so if I want to hold on to when the driver is driving very recklessly, I'm able to hold that on itself. So yeah, and same goes for the other side as well. So yeah, one downside in my opinion you don't really get for this vehicle is AC vent in the rear itself. So basically the rear passenger, if they're sitting back here and on a hot day like today, they have to rely on the front AC, which is right over there. They have to rely on that to be blowing straight back at you, so that you'll be cool at the back, and people, basically everyone in this car will be very cool. If not, yeah, I feel it's slightly stuffy in the rear itself on a hot day like today itself. So yeah, only downside is you don't get an AC vent, but you do get a Type A port itself for the vehicle itself, so you're able to charge your phone right here itself. I'm not too sure when this space lifter or whatever you call it car came out, but at the most I feel one side should have been Type A and one side should be Type C. So basically if this side is Type A, the other side should be a Type C, but both sides are Type A, so yeah, still able to charge the old-fashioned way, you can call it itself. So yeah, another thing you do know is you don't really get an armrest right here, so if you want to rest the arm on, it's only on this side itself. So yeah. Alright, now let me just show you how does it feel like to sit in the rear itself. One downside, if let's say the seat are almost slide to the back, you have trouble sitting, letting your leg out from the below there itself. So you're definitely gonna hit this part right here, or hit this part right here, or maybe the seat back itself. So yeah, but once in the center, you do notice there's no race in the center itself. You do some vehicles I tried on have if let's say you're a middle person, you would have definitely noticed that if you're sitting in the middle, there will be a slight raise in elevation. Then the left or right hand side will be a slightly lower sitting position itself. But the Nissan Kick, I don't really notice anything at all. It's like there's no divider at all, seriously. So yeah, but once in the center, this is how it looked like. Unfortunately, this side is seated. The seat is arranged in a position where it's slightly less comfortable in it. I don't really have space to put my finger in really, but yeah, there's still a little bit, about 2 fingers itself. My bet is if this seat was adjusted to the same position as this, then probably both sides will be 2 fingers. But yeah, whatever. It's just based off their preference on how they want to be seated in the front itself. So yeah, but in the rear itself, still got decent amount of headroom space wise. I think it's about 1/4 to 1.5 headroom space wise for the center itself. Legroom space wise, as already mentioned, there's not enough. I got 2 fingers here and no fingers at all for my left leg itself. So that's the downside. What else? You do get center lighting which turns on when doors are open. If not, you can just turn on manually itself. So yeah, and that's basically it for the rear itself. Now let me just show you guys the front of the vehicle itself. So let's dive straight to that right now itself. So stepping out is another issue. I won't say it's really an issue, but since I'm in the center seat right now, I have to move my leg out, and I know I'm definitely gonna hit this part because the doors is I would say it's a compact. It's either a compact or mid-size SUV for this vehicle itself. So yeah, other than that, let me just show you guys the front car right now. Alright then, before I show you guys the front of the car itself, I forgot to mention one more thing, which this car does come with keyless entry itself. So basically, if let's say you want to book track which comes with the vehicle key, you're able actually to, if I'm not wrong, just like the Nissan Sylphy, you're able to just press on this button right here itself to unlock and lock the vehicle. Or sorry, I think it's just basically to unlock. Sorry, maybe it's the other way around, my apology. But yeah, you're able to access the car door itself via that button itself, as well as to unlock and lock it via the key. Plus, if I'm not wrong, the key does come with access to the trunk itself. So that's the second way to access the trunk for the vehicle itself. So yeah, now let me just show you guys the inside of the vehicle. Alright then, now let me just show you guys the front part of the Nissan Kick itself. So basically, this is how the interior looks like for the Nissan Kick E-power itself. So starting out with the storage space you get for this vehicle itself. Well, you get a very decent sized glove box right here. As you guys can see, I'm able to put my entire small bag inside without any issue as well. I think if the driver's owner manual is still inside here, I'm 100% sure you're able to put more stuff in it itself, which is very, very good for this type of glove box itself. So yeah, moving along, you got sorry about that, you got another smaller glove box right here. It's not glove box, storage area right here if you want to put your stuff. So technically, if you want to, you could actually put your phone or your wallet or whatever small stuff right here, or if not, you can just always just throw it in the cup holder area. But in this area itself, you have the 12-volt socket outlet right here, which you can do that. You also got the Type A port, which links up to the Apple CarPlay, and I can't be sure whether it can link up to Android Auto, but it should be the same since I'm able to do so for Apple CarPlay itself. And really, I'm not too sure why you got headphone jack right here, but yeah. Moving along, you got 2 cup holders right here, and last but not least, a very narrow storage space right here. Probably this, in my opinion, this is very useless because you can't really put much stuff inside. I think I'm able to put a small wallet right here if I have one, but unfortunately I don't really have it. So can't really put much stuff. If you want, at the most you could put the GetGo fuel card right inside here, and that's basically that itself. So yeah, moving along, back to this center area itself, you got the drive select mode for the vehicle. So basically this has normal, sports and eco mode. So basically this plays a big role in how the vehicle drives in both the regular drive mode and the regen mode itself, which is the B mode right here, as you guys can see. So yeah, I'll tell you guys more about that later on when I show you guys the gearbox itself. But you got an EV button right here itself. So basically this EV button, once you activate it, the car can actually be used in electric mode for a short while before the combustion engine will kick in itself. And right beside it, you got your start stop engine to turn on and turn off the car itself. So yeah, alright, moving along, you got your gear selector right here. So if you guys are very attention to detail, you will notice that this is the exact gearbox that was on the Nissan Note E-power itself. So yeah, weirdly, before doing this reviewing this car itself, I saw online that there was another type of gearbox that was available for the Kick E-power itself. I think that was, I'm gonna guess that the one that was featured in the review was an earlier model or earlier production version of the Kick, so hence the gearbox is different. This is a later one, so hence it has the exact identical gearbox as the Note E-power itself. But it's very simple to operate itself. So just pull on the brake, slide this unlock thing on the side, and just all the way down for drive, all the way up for reverse, and one time up or one time down for neutral itself. If you want to activate regen mode itself, it's basically full all the way down. So basically you go all the way down one time, it will basically drive select to drive first, then one more time down for the regen mode itself. So yeah. Alright then, let me just show you guys one more thing for the reversing camera. So for the reversing, once you get in reverse, the parking sensor will activate itself. If you want to shut the beeping off, you just press an OK and just shut the beeping off itself. So yeah, and this is also your reversing camera itself. One downside, in my opinion, I feel is on sunny days like this on the outside, if let's say there's no cover itself, you won't be able to see this because it's quite faint itself. I wish if it's on the screen right here, it'd be much better. If it's on the infotainment, it's much better. But on the mirror, seriously, it just look it's a bit hard to see when it's under bright daylight. Maybe at night it'll be easier, but under bright daylight, come on, it's hard, not even possible to see at all. So yeah. Alright, so basically now this is the part where the drive mode you select plays a role in the drive and regen function of the vehicle itself. So as you guys know, this vehicle is an hybrid itself. So basically when you start driving in normal mode, it just drives like a normal car with the hybrid drivetrain. When you slow down or you coast, it will regen the battery into the car battery right down there itself. Sports mode basically just sharpen up the car and make it much more responsive. Eco mode is the exact opposite of it. But if let me just show you guys what I mean. So basically right now this is in eco mode, where you see this dial right down below as the regen function for normal isn't that much itself. But once I select to sports mode, you can see it open up much more of the regen function. So the regeneration function is much more stronger itself. Same for eco mode itself. Once go back to normal, it'll just go back to that itself. So basically from what I observed so far is the regen function in let's say you're in drive and you're in sports or eco mode or normal mode, the regen function, in my opinion, after driving for a few kilometers, I feel isn't that strong compared to when you put it in B mode, which is regenerative mode itself, where basically when you decelerate or you do 1 foot driving, which this car have, it is much more stronger itself. So if you want to have the most regenerative battery, basically if the most electricity going back into the car battery, my advice is you just go to B and set to sports mode or eco mode. That's where you can feel the car when you slow down, when you let your foot off the accelerator. That is the part where you can feel there's a lot of regenerative braking happening, and it's going right back into the car battery pack itself. So yeah, that's one thing I noticed for this vehicle itself. So yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next part, which is the wheel. So the wheel is very similar, or the exact identical to the Nissan Note E-power and the E-power variant, but the facelift. Basically, they have the same wheel itself, just that maybe there's one or two buttons that are not carried forward or same throughout their lineup itself. But basically, on the left hand side, you got your volume control right here. If not, you can always control through there itself. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Let me just go back to this. I skipped this entirely, but yeah. Before I show you guys this, let me just show you guys the AC controls itself. So AC control is very simple itself. On the left hand side, you got your control for your fan speed. On the right hand side is the temperature, and right here is just to turn off AC, your front and rear defrost, and the various angle of how you want the AC to be blowing at you, and the recirculation function in the cabin itself. So basically for this, you can choose between whether you want direct airflow flowing into the cabin, or you want the air blowing from the car itself, basically the air condition to be recirculating to make it much more a cooler environment inside itself, and you don't get any weird smell coming from the outside itself. So yeah. Next up, you got this very nice infotainment screen, which I feel is much better than the Nissan Note E-power. This car actually does has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but weirdly when I tested out the Note E-power itself, it does come with it, but somehow I'm not able to use it itself. So yeah. But basically on this, the screen itself right here, you just got various shortcut keys for infotainment. You got this button right here, go back to the home screen, which is where I'm at right now. You got this button right here to pick up the call, your audio button, your frequency tuner right here, your volume, and this is to scroll through the various function itself. So yeah, and you got this camera, but unfortunately this vehicle does not come with it. And you got your dark screen or bright screen, whatever you call it, on this vehicle. It's much more, it's more obvious when you pair it out with your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto itself. Settings is just basically the vehicle setting where you can just adjust whatever you want to do itself. Plus the screen is also, this is also touch screen, so you're able to touch on whatever thing you want to control itself. So yeah, that's basically that itself. So let's move back to the part where I was talking about earlier on. So yeah, basically you got your volume control button right here, your tuner, which to change the radio station if you want to. The back button is basically, I think should be that itself if I'm not wrong. So yeah, this button right here does not control that, but controls the screen right here itself. So yeah, don't think you guys can see that itself, but basically it controls this screen on the vehicle instrument gauge itself. So basically if I want to go through anything on the, if I want to change anything inside there, I have to adjust accordingly with this button itself. So if I have to press, and just if I have to press to the right, I'm able to change whatever thing that I want to change itself. Then from there, if you want to see more information, you can always just click back to the left button, then either down or up for more various stuff itself. So yeah, that's basically that itself. If you're wondering where the rev gauge is for the Nissan Kick E-power, well, it's basically this is the rev gauge for the car itself. It doesn't really have your, it doesn't come with your typical analog rev gauge where you're able to see the rev itself like the normal conventional method. This is your digital one, which you're able to see, and this is actually on some of the other hybrid cars that are out there in the Japanese market, like the Toyota Sienna hybrid, the second generation, and many more itself, which at the moment I can't really think of any itself, but the closest one I remember is the Sienna hybrid, which is something similar like this itself. So yeah, moving along, just about your analog, you basically got an analog and digital gauge itself. So basically that is your speedo and that is your rev gauge itself. So yeah. Alright, another thing I forgot to mention is this thing right here. So basically this is the cruise control for the vehicle itself. To activate the cruise control, you just press on this first, then it will basically appear on screen right here. then just set it according to what's the speed you want, and you can just increase or decrease it. And to cancel, either step on the brake or just press cancel itself. So yeah, basically right here you just got a voice command and your pickup and anchor if let's say you're connected to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto itself. So yeah, all right. Next up, let me just show you guys this itself. So basically on the left hand side you got your stop, which you're able to adjust the frequency right here. And this is the rear wiper, which so if you twist on it, you're able to see the rear wiper working itself. So that's right, at the moment it's on intermediate itself, so you really can't see much itself. So yeah, front wipers just this all the way, one time up for one swipe the wipers and down for continuous swiping itself. To wash the windscreen wiper, just need to pull back and it will wash the windscreen itself. So yeah, on the other side is your light control switch, as well as your indicators, as well as your high beam itself. So to flash your high beam, just need to pull back. To activate high beam, just need to push forward itself, and you activate the high beam itself. And right here is your fog light, and your main light control switch is right here. So yeah, at the moment it's set to auto headlight, so whenever the car detects a dark environment, it will just automatically turn on the headlight itself. So yeah, other than that, that's basically it for the stock itself. Next, lastly, you just got your traction control button right there, as well as the dipping or raising of your front headlight itself. So yeah, right beneath it is sorry about that. Basically right there is just your fuel door as well as your hood release. To access it, just need to pull on either one and you're able to access it itself. So yeah, alright, moving along, you got your 4 window switches right here, your lock unlock for the car doors. This to prevent people from rolling down the windows, as well as the controls for the mirrors itself. So to adjust it, just go to the left or all the way to the right to adjust it, and once done, and just go back in the center, and you'll and yeah, that's basically it. So once in the center, you're not really able to adjust the mirrors on either side of the vehicle itself. You got your folding mirrors right here, so you press on that, you just fold in the mirrors or fold out the mirrors itself. So yeah, that's basically that for the vehicle itself. If you're wondering how to adjust the steering wheel, it's just this lever right here itself. So you just need to pull on this lever and just adjust it itself. In my opinion, there isn't really much. So yeah, just adjust it away or towards you and up and down itself. That's basically it for the vehicle itself. So yeah, once done, and just lock it back in. Your IU reader for your cash card is right there itself, very close to your leg itself. So if you were to slide, technically if you were to slide the seat slightly more forward, you'll be hitting this, and the only way to not hit this is rest your leg right beside it, which is a bit of not really that comfortable itself lah. So yeah, alright, talking about the seat to adjust it, just this lever right here to adjust towards or away from you. The height and angle is right here, so this is to adjust the height of the seat, and the angle of the seat is right here itself. So yeah, that's basically that itself. Last but not least, you just got some sun visor right here with a very nice mirror. Sun visor also can be swiveled out to one side to block the sun coming from the right or left hand side, which is a very good thing. Plus also, there's also this strap right here. If you want to put stuff on there, you could actually technically do so. So if let's say I had this the GetGo card for this vehicle, if I want to put it here, I could actually put it right here and just close it up, then you can see here. But I'm just going to put in the glove box close. The glove box is technically useless at the moment itself. So yeah, and the same for the passenger side. Unfortunately, the passenger side does not have the card holder thing right here itself, but it still does come with a mirror, which is quite cool itself, and it can be swiveled to one side itself. So yeah, and that last but not least, you just got your reading light on either side, which can be turned on and turned off, or when the doors are open, both lights will turn on, or you can turn on manually itself. So yeah, one thing to note is for the one thing I noticed for this vehicle is you're able to hear a bit of the engine sound when you're in electric mode itself, which is a little bit weird, but I think that's how the vehicle works itself. And if you guys notice, it a few seconds ago the engine was on, then it turned off again to run basically on the battery power. So at the moment the battery is being, if I'm not wrong, the battery is being drain because the vehicle is not moving itself, and instead of relying on the combustion engine itself, it relies on the battery power itself. So that's quite cool itself. So if I want to regenerate that battery back up again, I have to basically just drive the vehicle, and over time it will just regenerate the battery back into the car itself. So yeah, and that's basically it for the infotainment. If you guys want to know more about it, you can definitely try out this car to learn more about it. But for the time being, that's basically it for this video itself. If you guys enjoyed the video itself, do click on the subscribe button down right below to see more videos like this, or click subscribe and click to see my 2 other videos. And with that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.